This is video number 8 in the in-law suite remodel series, and it's all about mudding and taping the drywall, sanding it out, and getting some primer on these walls. As I've said in other videos, I am more persistent than skilled at this, so it takes me a while, and I've decided to use the low dust version of joint compound. What that means is they do make joint compounds that you can mix yourself and that cure more quickly, like in 45 minutes or 90 minutes. But they also make a low dust version of this joint compound or drywall mud. And I hadn't used it before, but I thought because this is a remodel, the low dust version would be great so that when I sand it out, I'm not filling the house with a whole other load of dust. So we'll see how this works. But what it also means is that it's going to take a bunch of little spurts of work because I got to put a coat of mud on all of these corners and then let it dry. Sometimes it takes up to 24 hours. And for me, this is going to take 3 to 4 coats to get it to a place where I'm satisfied with it. People better at this can do it more quickly. So I did 3 coats and I sanded it out. Here's me after sanding. I was pretty happy actually with the result at this point. But then I went back and did a touch-up coat on a lot of the inside corners and spaces where it just didn't quite look good yet. And then I did a final sanding where I was really careful, going over the walls with 220 grit sandpaper. Sanding is much easier if you have a bright light that you hold at a steep angle to the wall because it makes all of the imperfections leap out at you, and you can see very easily where you need to sand. And again, this is a process of patience and persistence, just getting at it and getting all the imperfections sanded out. And I'm looking at it, looking for places where I might need to touch it up again once this sanding job is over. But I was actually pretty satisfied with it as I looked carefully at everything. So now I've got my shop vac and I'm vacuuming all the dust off the wall and then off the floor. And I would say this stuff worked pretty well. I mean, it does take to the air, but it did also clump and fall to the floor. There was a huge piles of dust on the floor. Here's some of the inside corners that I feel like are pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with. I want to get those right because your eye is sort of drawn to anything that is a straight line or should be a straight line and isn't, especially. It sort of screams out at you. So there's how it looked in the bathroom when I was done. There'll be a built-in in that right-hand corner, so you won't even really see that corner. But I was like, let's get some primer on these walls. So I brushed the inside corners at the top and left and right, and then rolled out a first coat of primer. There's the brush on the inside corners again, and around the switch plate there. And then we're gonna roll this out. And this is fun because this is where the wall starts to look like, sort of starts to disappear. It starts to look like it's supposed to be there or it was always there. And that's a pretty satisfying feeling. So I'm gonna do the second coat even faster here. Brushing on the corners, rolling out the second coat, and look at that. It becomes one solid thing. Cat ran through there. There's the second coat in the bathroom. I'm satisfied with this work, and I'm excited to get paint on the walls and the flooring down. Thanks for watching.